My name is Dean Fleming. We came from New York in 1967, but then we set about the process of trying to find this land. So it took a while. We did probably 6 months. And we had a wonderful process in which we would go to a land that was made available or was for sale and pretend that we already owned it. So we'd say, well, where is the road in? How do you have access? Is there electricity? Is there water? You know, all the different qualities. And where you would actually build. And since it was a group of friends, we had various sites. And then for one reason or another, none of them came out the way this one did. But when we came up here, it just seemed like heaven. It seemed like so much what we wanted to do that it was hardly a question. And in the beginning, it was a community, and we set up a very simple political process, and that was based on a Native American concept of a council. So we would sit in a circle and we would go around and hear every voice. So nobody's in charge, nobody's telling anybody else what to do or dominating the meeting. And we go around until everybody agrees. And we said the land can't belong to an individual. And then you put a fence around and tell everybody else that this is yours. With the Indian influence still, we realized that a human being could not own land. You couldn't own this stream or this rock or this mountain. And so we were only guests here for a short time. They would try to have a garden and some animals of some kind and chickens and eggs and so forth. But a lot of times where they were trying to do that was not appropriate. And we had, by the 7 communities, we had some down on the river who had the perfect place for the gardening. And so we said, we'll do that down there. And another place was good for a different quality. So in a very curious way, the communities took on personalities, which of course were the people who were in them. But like, for example, the Red Rocks over here was all theater people from California. And some of them whose parents were movie directors, and so they had some bucks and they had an idea then for all the theater and cabarets and the wonderful theater things that we had happen there. And here was all art, mostly visual art, paintings and sculpture, and some poets also lived here. And then in another farm, it was farmers came up and they were all back to the land doing a good job of that. And so each one of these communities had a different personality like that. I had this dream in New York, 1967, that I'd like to be surrounded by friends, because even though I hadn't been here, I was pretty sure that you could be next to the rifle company or the, military place and whatever. So I wanted to make sure that the actual people that I dealt with were friends, and that helped establish the idea that it would have to be a community. So that's still true. And even though the people that are here, a lot of them are much newer than when we started, they're nevertheless family. And if they call, I'll come to them and I'll help them. And if I call them, they'll come and help me. And that's a huge, huge issue up here. And we do hang out together, and we still have parties together. And we have an Easter party. It's the first party of the spring, and all the different communities come together.
When I was a young man, yeah, yeah, I was looking for the fun, yeah, yeah. So I took to the highway, I went chasing the setting sun.